What's good, man? It's your boy King Kirk, and we back with another video. And today I'm finna show y'all all the books I read during quarantine. While people was out here probably partying and playing and on social media all day, I was soaking up them good gems and running that bag up. So yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to share the books I read to my subscribers. And maybe you could pick up one of these books and feed your brain as well. So yeah, let's get into the video. So the first book I read during quarantine is a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's about 300, close to 300 pages, not too long. But what I learned from this book is appreciate your life, really. After I got done reading this book, I appreciated my life way more. My mom's side and my dad's side from the streets. So after reading this, it made me appreciate my life way more and made me understand how blessed I really am already. And I'm just getting started. So yes, with this book, I learned appreciation for sure. It kind of gives you a breakdown of, the rich mindset and the poor mindset. And me growing up, personally, I was surrounded by people with poor mindsets. Poor just doesn't mean money, It also means the mindset, your diet, everything. So this definitely gave me a new perspective of life. So the first book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Another book I read during quarantine is called Think and Grow Rich. It's about close to 300 pages. I call this like the success Bible, man. So many successful people read this book, so I thought I had to tap in and read it myself. What I learned from this book after I got done reading it is patience is everything, don't nothing come overnight. I also learned great formulas that I can apply, to my life now and to my successful journey. So it's definitely a great book. It got a lot of gems in it, and I definitely recommend this book. Another book I read during quarantine, The Intelligent Investor. Now this book about 600 pages, but it's worth it, man. Like, this is definitely a great book. I decided to read this book because Warren Buffett said it was his favorite book, and he a billionaire, so I'm trying to get on that wave. This is definitely another good book right here, great book. It definitely helped me with the stock market after I read this book. Like, before this book, I was losing thousands in the stock market, but after I read this book, I kind of made better decisions, and I started, seeing more on the green side. But we ain't gonna talk numbers though. But this is definitely a great book. I definitely recommend it if you're trying to get into the stock market, or if you need some, some tips on what to do with investing. So if you're an investor, it's definitely a good book. The next book, The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. This was an excellent book. This is a book I read, randomly. Like, after I got done reading this, I read it again. Like, this definitely helps with business. This is another great read. After I got done reading this, stuff that I was involved in kind of became more successful. Like, before I read this, like, business ideas I had was kind of like tanking. But after I read this, it kind of gave me a better outlook on business and how to market myself. And you can learn. This book is only like 130 pages. So it's people in college and marketing right now, and this book is basically condensing all that stuff from college and giving it to you in 140 pages and way cheaper. So if you're a marketer, or if you're trying to get better at marketing, this is definitely a great book. It helped me tremendously. The next book I'm gonna show y'all is called How to Win Friends and Influence People This was another great read. After I read this, it made me understand why, I attract certain things or attract certain people. A lot of these keys in this book I kind of already did naturally and I didn't even know. But it's formulas to everything. So if you're more on the pessimist side, see, I'm an optimist, so it's like I kind of already give off a certain energy, but it's certain people who be on the pessimist side or certain people who can't work with other people, but there's a lot of keys and tricks, like just smiling. Like, I never knew how important smiling can be for business, for anything, for your relationship, anything. But this is definitely a great book. If you find yourself in a dark place or want to do business but you feel like you're not friendly, definitely pick up this book, man. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Another book I read during quarantine is called If You Can't Wholesale After This, I Got Nothing For You. Now, I originally grabbed this book because I'm interested in real estate, so I wanted to start somewhere. So I felt like people kept telling me, look into wholesaling and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to get a little understanding of it and see the basics and the formulas with it. So I read this book and I learned a lot of stuff, just more than just wholesaling. Like, after I read this book, I found out that I wasn't working hard enough. Like, when you read this book, you're gonna find out that you thought you was working hard, but you really wasn't. So after I read this, I ain't gonna lie, like, my whole perspective changed, my whole outlook on a lot of stuff changed. Like, I found out that I really thought I was doing something, but I'm really not. So, if you're interested in real estate or wholesaling, it definitely got some keys and tips and tricks in here. This is definitely another great book, and I definitely recommend it. Another book I read, and one of my favorites, probably top 2 and not 2, The Millionaire Fast Lane, man. This book definitely made me understand how much time I was wasting. There's a lot of great formulas in this book. Like, I found out I was watching 500 hours of TV, just sports alone, a year, that I could have put into my craft, but I gave it to the TV. You know what I'm saying? So this definitely, if you find yourself procrastinating or, you find yourself in a stuck place, after you read this book, you're going to be like, all right, man, I got to quit playing. Like, this is definitely one of my favorites. I will be reading this again just to keep me motivated. You're going to lose a lot of people probably. Like, I done lost women, everything, because of this book. After you read this book, you're going to stop Netflixing and chilling. I'm trying to tell you. So think wisely if you want to get this one. I advise you to think wisely, because after you read it, a lot of stuff going to change, man. For the better, for the worse, who knows. But, hey, success ain't easy. The next book I'm going to show y'all that I read during quarantine is called The Wealth Choice. This is definitely a book I recommend. But after reading this book, I definitely learned that don't nothing come easy, especially for a black person, but it can be done. Hard work, dedication, sacrifices, you're going to have to kill procrastination. Consistency is definitely key. But I definitely learned a lot from this book. Tap in. It's definitely a great one. The Wealth Choice. Another book I read during quarantine is called The 4-Hour Work Week. Now, this one is definitely a good one, especially if you're starting a business or you're thinking about starting one, or if you already got one going. This is definitely a good one to show you some tips and secrets and tricks on how these successful people kind of, like, for example, let's take a company like Lyft. Okay, the CEO of Lyft, do you think they handling the background checks? No, they have a third-party company doing the background checks for them. So that's saving the CEO more time to, do what they do, to be kicked up on the beach like that person is. That's the CEO of Lyft. That's, Bill Gates or any of these guys right here. While everybody else do their dirty work, they living like this. So This is definitely a good one if you got employees, you know, got a business running, you kind of trying to get a business model where you can save more time. This is another good one. Another book I read during quarantine is called The Power of Positive Thinking. This is another great book. Like I said, I'm an optimist, so a lot of this stuff that they were saying in the book, I kind of already do naturally. But like I said, if you find yourself more on the pessimist side of things, and you find yourself having more of a negative mindset, if something happened and you think of the negative first, you probably want to tap in and read this book. But this definitely helped me, man. I had a lot of family stuff going on. Like I said, dealing with women and breakups. So this is another good book. It keep you right on track, you know, get your soul back right. Mentally, you want to be healthy. So this is definitely another good one. And, you know, I learned from this is just always stay positive. But that's just me naturally. It's kind of hard to get to me. So when I do feel myself coming down a little bit, I appreciate books like this. So I definitely recommend this one, The Power of Positive Thinking. Another one I read during quarantine is called Made to Stick. Now this is a great business book. It got some tips and tricks on how to make your stuff stick and make people not forget you. I definitely apply some of them gems into my life, and you know, I'm already seeing a difference. And if you got a business, this definitely would be great for you. It's called Made to Stick. Another book I recommend that I read during quarantine is called Total Money Makeover. This is another good book. It got a lot of keys and tips and tricks on how to save money. And, you know, after I read this, I definitely was like, okay, I'm finna get way more frugal, you know, and act broke, man, until I got them M's. But, you know, it be hard, man. I like getting fly and stuff like that, but it is what it is, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. So it's definitely another good one. It got a lot of tips and tricks in it. And yeah, I definitely recommend this book, especially if you have a bad spending problem. The last book I'm gonna show y'all that I read during quarantine is a book from my boy Gary V. Jab, Jab, Right Hook. This book definitely got some good gems in it. It's gonna show you how to stand out, you know, with your businesses, with yourself. It's gonna show you how to stand out on the social media, you know. It's a lot of people on social media, and you have to stand out to kind of, you know, get the wins. After you read this book, the content you post will be better. You're gonna see some of the mistakes you was making. But if you got a business, especially a social media business, this is a great book. Tap in. Gary V, Jab, Jab, Right Hook, man. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I got way more books I read, but I ain't want to, you know, overload. I might do a part 2 and show y'all some more books I read. I'm always reading, but if you got some good recommendations and some books that you've read, comment below, man. I'm always looking at the comments when I can, when I'm not working. And, you know, I'm going to take some of y'all recommendations and tap in, you know. So yeah, man, share some books that you've read that helped you with your life in the comments. But that's pretty much it for this video. Like always, I will be back. It's your boy King Kirk, and I'm out. And I know y'all see the Georgetowns, man. Y'all can't get these.